Hi, everyone. This is Jeff Clark of the Paydirt Prospector newsletter here in sunny Vancouver at the Metals Investor Forum. It's an exciting time, and one of the companies I'm really excited about is Homeland Uranium. Here's the CEO, Roger Lemaitre. Did I say it right?
You did, yep. Yes.
Good, good. Well, thanks for joining me here at the Metals Investor Forum conference. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you for inviting us. It's exciting. It's just that, and the investor vibe is really positive.
It's very crowded, a lot of smiles out there. So, and maybe next on the list here might be uranium. We'll see. But before we get into that, Roger, tell us about your background, the team you've built there. Because one thing, frankly, that attracted me to Homeland Uranium was this very impressive team you've put together.
Well, I thank you because that was definitely something we pushed hard to get. I'll start with our board. I was very surprised that some people were suggesting to me and said, you should talk to so-and-so, you should talk to so-and-so about joining the board. And I thought, we're going to be a pretty small company when we'll be launched in March. There's no way that we can get a Eugene McBurney or a Mark Christensen or Rob Shuchuk on our board. It's not going to happen. We may get lucky, get one of them. And to my surprise, they all wanted to be part of it. And I think it speaks to the rest of our team and the assets that we brought to the table. So our VP Exploration, Nancy No More, has been around in the uranium sector for many years, most recently with Latitude Uranium, but she worked for me at UEX and made some discoveries during those days, worked at Denison and made discoveries that they're part of their core portfolio today. Our CFO, Joel Leonard, expert at getting companies up and running from scratch, whether it's CSC or not. And myself, I've done 26 years in the uranium industry, and it's kind of like doing time because it comes and it goes, and when it's down, it hurts. And it's about surviving through those things to collect the assets you need to make things work. I'd worked for Cameco for 11 years, started in the field, worked my way up through managing Saskatchewan, doing mergers and acquisitions in the last upswinging cycle, and then managed their global portfolio of exploration operations before being asked to move on to some other opportunities. I ran a company called UEX Corporation. In the last cycle, we were one of the market darlings in the last cycle for my time there. And we've managed to double the assets under management in terms of pounds and quadruple the market cap when we were bought out by Uranium Energy Corp. So
yeah,
it's a very skilled team.
But the bottom line is a lot of these people didn't really need to come to Homeland Uranium.
No.
And yet they did. They wanted to be involved in it. So it really speaks to what the potential here is of this project, right? So
I think so. I couldn't agree more.
Let's talk about that project. So you've got an asset in Colorado that actually has a historic resource on it. And what your goal is right now, correct me if I'm wrong, is to prove up that resource, validate it, and then actually grow it. So tell us about the project here in Colorado.
So our Coyote Basin Project, northern Colorado, north end of the uranium district known as the Colorado Plateau. We're nearby an old producing union carbide mine called Maybell. It's not part of our project portfolio, but we're nearby. So it's a producing region in the past. Western Mining, one of the preeminent explorers in the 80s and 90s, found this thing in 1979, right at the time 3 Mile Island happened. So they made this discovery, and then the uranium industry in the US particularly went into hibernation. And it sat idle till the beginning of the last cycle when predecessor Energy Fuels picked up the property, got rolled into Energy Fuels. But it wasn't their number one priority project because they had a few things that are now core to actually Uranium Energy Corp. UE Energy Metals got bought up by the Uranium One, which went to the Russians, and it got lost in the annals of time. And so when the opportunity came to me, and they said I couldn't believe it was true, I had to do the research, and sure enough, there it is. So yes, Western Mining Guild basically said, here's where the uranium is. And so now our job is to go there and prove it to 43101 current modern day standards.
Yes.
You can't really use the old data. In this case, it's erratically spaced. And, there's a few things that I'd like to see improved on it, but it does give us a roadmap. So we're out
but it hints at about what's potentially there, right?
Yeah, the historic resource was 35 million pounds. We know that based on the work that was done in the past, it's variable depending on what cutoff grade you use. So the better the price, obviously, the more you can return. And so our job is to go there and just figure out where the boundaries are of this thing.
Great. And so to figure out the boundaries, you're doing a lot of drilling this year. So tell us about your drill program.
We're coming to the near end of our first maiden program. There are 3 sort of key areas that we wanted to test. We got permitted for the first 2 of those areas, and we're now working on the second of those 2. We've been finding uranium, anomalous radioactivity across all of the holes we've drilled so far to date. So the southern area, it's 1,000 meters or 3,200 feet by 600 meters or what's that? That's 1,900 feet area, and that's open ended. We moved to the other area here because we want to make sure we test that before we have a 17,000 foot 35 hole program on the agenda. So we're just coming to the end of that as we speak.
Okay. And you have enough cash to go ahead and plow through 2026, right?
Yeah, we still have over $7 million in cash right now. So we're well financed. There'll be some decisions for us to make in terms of when we get the results back from the assays about how we move forward with Coyote Basin, because we do have a second project that's sort of the 1B in our portfolio that we could decide to do some work on as well, or run in parallel. Or if we want to run them in parallel, what do we do next?
So Roger, you have a great team, you have a highly prospective project, but the wind at your back is really the U.S. government and their mandate to come up with enough uranium for the U.S., and they can't meet that goal. So all the regulations, the thing Trump has done with executive orders affects uranium directly. So you have all this at your back too.
Yeah, I would love to say that we predicted all of these executive orders were going to come to fruition when we started building the company at the end of 2024 and got it up and floating. I love to say that. That's clearly not the case. But even before that, you could see the case for uranium in the United States. The demand is roughly 50 million pounds a year to meet their civilian reactor needs. They were producing less than 1 million pounds a year.
Wow.
A lot of the sources were coming from not so friendly states, about 50% of it. I do believe if you can build a uranium mine, there will be a buyer for your supply, and long as you can do it economically. So yes, what the new administration has done is really put gasoline on the fire with the executive orders to move and streamlining the regulations. It changes the way that I look at the U.S. in terms of and it's always been a favorable jurisdiction. But now in terms of the timing it takes to move things forward, I wouldn't say fast track. That's not fair, but it's certainly one of the faster areas of the world to be working in. You have success, and there's an essentially unlimited need, because even if everything we know about in the U.S. gets put into production, we're still not going to get there.
You're still not going to hit the goal, right? Well, that's great. So as we wrap up here, tell an investor what they should consider investing in the stock now, the catalysts you have coming up here over the next 3, 6, 9 months.
So we're just coming to the end of the first drill program. The next step will be assay results. They will come out probably over the next 2.5 months intermittently as that gets cleared, and that will tell us with the assay results, we'll be able to start working on that first innate resource report, which is still scheduled for the end of the first half of this year.
Okay.
That is our goal. That will be a milestone decision for us. If we like what we see, do we continue on to the inferred resource stage? Because he'll give us an indicated resource. Do we do the infill?
Oh, so that would guide the drilling if it's more infill or exploratory or whatever.
Exactly. We do know from our work this summer and our mapping prospect work that we have at least 9 miles of strike length of favorable horizon to look at. We're only looking at the first sort of 2 with what we're doing now.
So Roger, this could get pretty big potentially. Am I right about that?
We think so. And I think what's attractive for us is it's not only that it's open pit mining.
Yeah.
With a low surface. So it gives us a chance to put us in the low cost half of the curve, which I think in your aim space is where you want to be sustainable.
Sure. That's great. Well, there you go. Check out Homeland Uranium. I own the stock. I'm overweight the stock. It's one that hasn't really left the station yet. It's still got the potential there for a big run as they continue to prove up this deposit. So there you go. Thanks everyone for joining me here at the Metals Investor Forum.